first of all, congratulate and commend Jay. I met Jay many years ago when I was in the Parliament of the Netherlands Antilles, and Jay was working for the central government at that time. And I must let you know that the same buzz, the same energy, the same commitment that he had, but some 20 years ago, 30 years ago, I get the feeling sometimes it has gotten more. So he's not like he's more than the Duracell battery with the bunny. Jay has really brought archaeology to this country. And what I want to commend him for in the presence of all of you is the work he has done in St. Martin so far, Jay, and in particular establishing a youth organization, getting them interested in archaeology, and that is very, very commendable. And you know, when I was growing up, we didn't know what was archaeology, and I see my good friend Al in the crowd, and that's also interesting. It is important. It's a very important subject for us to know where we come from, how we got here, and how we are going in the future. I want to welcome all of you to this island, and I want to commend the organizers in particular to see that it's not only a buy, this is how you would say, two countries on one island, but there's also Anguilla is involved this time with this conference, and that is commendable. We in this part of the Caribbean, we've always lived as one. This island in particular, we are very unique, we're very proud of being one island, two people, one island, two countries, one people, and we promote that, but we not only promote it, but we live it every single day of our lives. I hope you all have some very successful discussions. I understand there's a record amount of papers to be presented. That is commendable. And I really hope you find time, that Jay has permitted time in the schedule for you to not only work hard, but maybe have some fun on the side and visit the different good things that this island has to offer, and also Anguilla, that you enjoy the culinary arts that we have here, the restaurants, and in general. But again, welcome. For my government, it's a pleasure to be part of this and to have contributed. And Jay, if we can do anything more, Jay, please let us know to make this and maybe the next conference even bigger. Again, much success with your discussions, and I hope that we get a lot of positive reports coming out of this conference. Thank you very much.
It is a pleasure indeed for me and the government of St. Martin, as indicated by our Prime Minister, to support these initiatives, because we think they're very important, not only for the development of the country, but also for the region. And I thought it behind that, St. Martin, and Anguilla is collaborating, and for most of you, you might have thought that this would be something that is challenging for us, but in terms of the way we live, it is very easy and simple, because we always see ourselves as three nations, two islands, but also one people. So for us, it is what we do and how we do it. I was asked today to say a few words to you, and I noticed that there are some translators in the back, so I'll have to slow it down a bit so that the information can come over clearly. But it is indeed an honor for me to address such a distinguished audience of archaeologists and other heritage authorities at what is considered the largest gathering of Caribbean archaeologists in the world. It is remarkable to observe that 26 years ago, to be exact, was the time since this Congress was held on Dutch soil. I think it was on Curaçao.
Yes.
And today, again, you are here on St. Martin, is somewhat other Dutch soil, for the 26th edition of the International Association for Caribbean Archaeology. So, as we would say in the Dutch language, welcome up St. Martin. I don't know if you're going to translate that into Spanish, French. That's the first time I spoke 4 languages at once. I can stand here as Minister of Tourism, Economic Affairs and say thank you for choosing St. Martin for the venue of this event because of its economic benefits that it will provide our country. We are indeed honored to host the 200 delegates on our soil. However, more importantly, for me, that this Congress comes at the heel of a very important process for St. Martin. As a government, we have established vital dialogues with stakeholders, public, private, and grassroots, from whom are meticulously playing their role in sculpting and etching our National Development Plan. To implement the aforementioned process, my ministry recently organized an economic summit, during which time the nucleus was placed on St. Martin's comparative advantage and how these were central to developing its future. As a country in development, we must clearly identify these advantages and find ways to build upon them while adding to our existing products. For example, our niche tourism, marine activities, agriculture, financial services, and logistics are all areas identified in our national economic framework as viable options for St. Martin. But imagine for a moment how irrelevant all that work would be without aligning ourselves with the work that you do. The information that you share lays the linkages between culture or cultural and heritage or cultural and national heritage and its importance to the community and development of a country. Imagine what our very existence would be like without the discipline of archaeology. Imagine not knowing about our past in order to cultivate our future. Imagine not knowing how our society adapts to cultural change. Imagine the absence of archaeology. You would not know why so many visitors are attracted to our beautiful island. The Chartered Institute for Archaeology in the UK, or CIFAR, for example, emphasizes, moreover, that planning policies should be on sustainable development and that benefits the economy, society, and environment, and requires, amongst other things, the protection and enhancement of the historical environment. The projects in the developing world, banks and development agencies increasingly requires cultural assets to be looked after and to be incorporated into new development. In other words, there is an immense correlation between archaeology and heritage, the environment, the economy, and society as a whole. And this should not be underestimated by any government. The term repurpose, reuse, upcycle comes to mind when we are looking at and we're talking about our treasured historical monuments and sites. I want to therefore commend all of you whom during the next couple of days will be either networking with fellow colleagues or discoursing about future anthropological interpretations, new paths to be unraveled, or pioneering new research and advancement in the discipline of heritage. I wish you continued success in your work collectively as an organization. And I also want to commend the organizing committee under the auspices of Dr. J. Officer, the CMARC Secretariat, the St. Martin Museum, and many public-private organizations locally and abroad, who for the last 2 years have employed a lot of hard work to ensure that this Congress emerges as a success. Each of these organizations have contributed in one way or the other to have this auspicious event. In closing, I wish to extend a very fruitful and productive Congress to all delegates and their families. Do take some time, as our Prime Minister indicated, to enjoy our island's friendly hospitality and diverse cuisine. May this assembly and visit to St. Martin be an enjoyable one, and I hope to see you all back here on our soil, Dutch, French, and British, very soon. Thank you.
I would like to welcome you to our island, St. Martin. St. Martin. It's St. Martin. On behalf of the President of the French side government, Ms. Adeline Henson, who asked me to represent her and also the collectivity of St. Martin this morning, as I am the elected official in charge of culture and heritage. It's a great honor for our friendly island to host the 26th IACA conference and to receive all Caribbean countries participating in the event, and of course to receive the archaeologists without whom nothing would be possible. I would also like to thank the partners of French Ministry of Culture and Communication, which has sponsored this event. We are especially proud to host this Congress because since its creation in 60 years ago, it has been held only once on the Dutch island, which was Curacao in 1989, and on a French island, Martinique, in 2011. You have shown a real interest in our little binational territory, and we most appreciate your consideration. And of course, we notice we have our sister island, Anguilla, also with us. This Congress is a major event because it allows the professionals to share information and archaeological research undertaken in the Caribbean region. It is also a unique opportunity for you all to create new relationships and expand your own network. I understand that 100 of studies were to be displayed and presented during this Congress, which is a permanent enrichment of archaeology, especially for our little part of the world that is a prolific archaeological excavation. Dear participants, I address myself to you all. I'm taking this opportunity to say a word about French side of St. Martin, which has invested many years on research. St. Martin French side is the place where we have found the oldest settlement in the West Indies, discovered at Red Pond in the lowlands area and dating from 3,300 years before Jesus Christ. Hope Estate are also hosted the oldest Amerindian village of all the West Indies, discovered in 1986 and dating from 560 years before Christ. I would also like to add that the government of St. Martin takes a real consideration concerning the historical work and protection of our heritage. We created last year a new department of territorial archivists and heritage. You will have the opportunity to visit this department tomorrow evening during the French cultural display that we put in place, specially planned for you. Collecting and archiving historical documents is done under the supervision of the directress, Ms. Stephanie Darbo. This job is not only substantial, but necessary for the preservation of our culture and heritage. I would like to acknowledge as well Mr. Christophe Enoch, who has recently joined our team with the Archive Department of the Collectivité of St. Martin. We are privileged to have him among us, as he has played an essential role in archive and archaeologist research on the island. For all the reasons I just mentioned, this is a very, very good opportunity for St. Martin to host this 26th Congress of IACA Association. And once again, I would like to thank you all for being with us. I wish you a very successful 2015 Congress in the interest of preserving and highlighting our Caribbean heritage. May you enjoy your stay on the beautiful island of St. Martin. I thank you.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Distinguished delegates from 28 countries in the region to your 2015 26th Congress of the International Association for Caribbean Archaeology. You managed and you succeeded, Jane, because it is an impressive Caribbean archaeology community. You are, with, as I've seen on your website, 115 papers that have been submitted and will be presented and discussed in the coming five days. It must be an interesting and informative gathering here at Maro. It is indeed my distinct honor to express and join the Prime Minister and the other officials in the words of welcome during your opening ceremony on behalf of the Honorable Minister Rita Bourne-Gums. As she has a deserved vacation, it is my pleasure to take over. She expresses her sincere congratulations to especially Dr. Jay Hadiser as chairperson, as your chairperson for the 26th Binational Congress on St. Martin Saint-Martin. And it is indeed a three-national conference, which makes it even more special. And your visit to Anguilla at the end of the event indicates indeed that it is a tri-national event. And I believe that this holds the promise to have yet another important body, or rather platform of knowledge during your 26th biannual event with so many beautiful themes. Congratulations and a personal thank you should also go out, I believe, Dr. Hadiser, to your organizing committee, Mrs. Elche-Bos, Mr. Ellinger, Mr. Ferrier, Mr. Richards, Ms. Velasquez, Mrs. Davis, the Minister of Education, Culture, Youth and Sports sincerely thanks you for your professional assistance in the preparations, CMARC voluntarism, and your wonderful representation of our island, of our country at large. Congratulations, and I'm sure that you, the visitors, will enjoy the content of your conference, but also the visit. The subjects are diverse, I've noticed, in the following 5 days, and vary from archaeology management, heritage management, ancient DNA, paleo-environmental studies, poster sessions even, a youth program, as already expressed during the video, archaic age human remains, and so on and so on. The organizing committee therefore complemented indeed this wonderful program with additional beautiful displays. Friendside, Caribbean nights, cocktail parties, visits in Anguilla, and side events must be wonderful, and I'm sure that you will not be bored. Dr. Hadiser, the unity of diversity theme is indeed so befitting, as symbolized in the Andrika symbol. It is a sign that characterizes us as a two-nation small island state, Caribbean in its entirety, And the two crocodiles sharing one belly is already meaningful to me and is a symbol that's already engraved in my brain. Thank you for picking this ancient symbol to reflect the theme for your 26th session. Delegates from, I understood, from Colombia, Suriname, French territories, Puerto Rico, Dominican Republic, the Netherlands, Florida, US, St. Vincent and the Grenadines, and so on and so on. I'm sure I forgot various other countries as well.
Yep. England.
England?
Yeah.
England. Let's see if you would understand the Dutch. Welkom op Sint Maarten. En namens onze minister wensen we u een leerzaam, verrijkend congres. Een congres dat u en ons telkenmale zal blijven verbinden in onze geschiedenis, onze cultuur en even same way important, onze toekomst. The Ministry and the Minister of Education, Culture, Youth and Sports wishes you a successful Congress and a wonderful and memorable stay on our island. Dr. Havisser, the government of St. Maarten is once more very grateful for your passion, your power, and your drive in your profession as an archaeologist in realizing this important Congress on St. Maarten. Our governing program recognizes and emphasizes that the future of St. Maarten depends on the development, the recognition, and ownership of our culture, which include, indeed, such a rich discipline as archaeology. As a board member of the Prins Bernhard Culture Fund, and therefore co-sponsor of your event, allow me to also express and extend the congratulations of the chair of the board, Mrs. Michelle Russell. And in closing, I would like to wish you a successful Congress and a memorable experience on St. Maarten.
And I'm so glad you brought up the symbolism. Well, we're going to take a moment because now that I've got you all captured here together, I'm going to explain to you what this is all about, what this kind of means, and what the intention behind it was. St. Maarten, it's one island, no matter how many names you want to put on it. It's one island, right? So we don't have a border on the island, but we have what is the true heart of pan-Caribbean cultures here and on all of the islands of the Caribbean is the Amerindian and the African. These are pan-Caribbean cultural phenomena. They are at the heart of our islands. And yet the Europeans have been here for hundreds and hundreds of years. They are part of the scenery. They are part of the culture. And yet the Europeans have kind of segregated the Caribbean region and broken it into different sections. So you see behind the representations of different European descendant groups that have more segregated aspects. In the other symbol, which is the logo symbol, you have the Adrinka symbol here. This is in Akan. It has a name that is so long, I'm not even going to attempt to pronounce it right now. But it means two crocodiles who share the same belly. And what it means is unity in diversity. Our island is the perfect example of two crocodiles that share the same belly. And that's why that fits so well for this theme of what we are doing here. So now that you've seen the other logo, that's the poster, it has the Adinkra, it has the Zemi, the Amerindian Zemi, the island, there it is, and around is the European Delftware plate, the European ceramics. So with that one, you get all three elements as well too. Into the future of heritage research, into the future of Caribbean archaeology, there will be also more and more, we will need to be adding another element, and that is our Asian heritage. We have a growing Asian population in the Caribbean region, and at some point we will be doing archaeology, heritage research, and in making them also part of the symbolism, because they are part of our communities. Continuing our youth orientation, I don't want us to just have song and dance. I want us to have, we are all women and men of letters. I want us to have something a little bit more literature-oriented. I'm going to invite now one of our most dynamic young poets on St. Martin, a young man born just around the corner over here in Simpson Bay, Mr. Andrew Peterson.
My name is Andrew Peterson, and this is my morning induction. Welcoming you here to our place, where these islands have organized to put together this Congress and all that you see before your eyes. And, well, as we gather here, 7 whole days to be together, let me tell you what I always wanted to truly be, a storyteller. But not just any storyteller, but to tell a story of time and how, well, it's stretched from the beginning, but I'm going to tell it to you in rhyme. Talk about its bend and turns to discover all the histories created and to come across mysteries as if our discoveries are fated. Now I wish to be a storyteller, to tell the tales long past of great roles and of great characters in times they thought would last. I crave to hear forgotten sounds and taste forbidden flavors. I long to hold the relics of old that were once gifts of a king's favor. I hope to walk the corridors like the greats of yesteryear and enter realms of mystery to uncover what lays here. Where you see a piece of shard, I see the multitude of ages, the kind of stuff that scholars write on the back of history pages. Hope to see the sights they saw. I hope to touch the things they touched, the sounds they heard, the things they smelled. Oh, we search for the sources of these so much. And I hope to see through the eyes of the Indian that once called this island home and learn just as much about them as can ever be known. How they came to know Swaliga when she was fresh and young, before all the horrid wrongs that our developments have done. I hope to see through the eyes of the proud Spanish ships who tossed my home aside to only see the French and Dutch live on it side by side. And the discovery of salt crystals, white crystals in this pond great, and the process of a collection that would bind another nation's faith. And I want to see through the eyes of a slave, a story lost, forgotten, a testament to time where the world at times could be rotten.